If there's one thing I've learned watching men destroy their own potential, it's this. Weakness doesn't show up the way you think it does. You imagine weakness as trembling hands, a shaky voice, some guy too timid to look people in the eye. But the real weakness, the kind that eats you alive without anyone noticing at first, is subtle. It hides inside habits you repeat every day. It's in the words you never say. It's in the silence you maintain, not because you're calm, but because you're afraid. And the most dangerous mistake a man can make is confusing comfort with strength. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to rip that illusion out of your system and stop broadcasting weakness to the world. You've seen it before. A guy who bends just a little too much. He laughs at jokes that cut him down. He agrees when deep inside he wants to disagree. He thinks he's being polite or easygoing or chill. He tells himself it doesn't matter, that keeping the peace is a sign of confidence. But if you've ever watched one of those guys from the outside, you know the truth. People don't see a saint. They see someone who has quietly surrendered. And once they see it, they can't unsee it. Respect evaporates. Women lose attraction. Men stop trusting him. That subtle willingness to fold becomes his entire identity. The mistake is thinking that going along makes you stronger. The reality is that silence, when it's fueled by fear of conflict, makes you invisible. It drains the charge from your presence. It tells everyone in the room that you're hoping someone else will take the lead so you don't have to. And the brutal part, you think nobody notices, but they always do. Picture this. You're sitting at a table with a girl you're trying to impress. The waiter brings the wrong drink. Instead of sending it back, you swallow it and force a smile. It's fine, I'll drink it anyway. You think you're showing patience. You think you're avoiding a scene. But in her mind, in a place she won't even articulate, something shifts. She sees a man unwilling to risk discomfort for what he actually wants. And if you won't stand up to a waiter about a drink, how the hell are you going to stand up for her or for yourself when the stakes are higher? She doesn't think it consciously, but she feels it. Weakness leaks out in the tiniest cracks. Here's the brutal truth. People test you constantly, sometimes on purpose, sometimes by accident. Every day you're faced with moments that ask, are you going to assert yourself or are you going to fold? And the mistake men make, the dangerous mistake, is convincing themselves that folding is kindness, that passivity is strength, that women will respect your easygoing vibe. They won't. She doesn't respect the man who always says yes. She respects the man who means it when he says no. You probably know a guy who hides behind the word nice. He says, I'm just a nice guy. That's why girls don't like me. No, man, that's not why. It's not your kindness that repels them. It's the fear that comes with it. The fear of rejection, the fear of tension, the fear of standing alone. You're not too nice. You're too scared. And every time you play small, you reinforce the weakness until it becomes the only story people tell about you. The irony is that true strength doesn't come from aggression either. The loudest guy in the room isn't always the strongest. You know this. The guy who puffs up his chest, throws around insults, tries to dominate every conversation. He's weak too, just in a louder costume. But at least he's visible. At least people know what he wants. The silent man who hides his desires behind a fake smile, that's the man who disappears. And disappearing is the most dangerous thing a man can do. Let me paint this clearly. Imagine a lion in a cage. On the outside, he looks calm, docile, even harmless. He eats when he's fed, he lies down when he's tired, he accepts the bars as his reality. People clap at his obedience. But a lion that's obedient isn't a lion anymore. It's just another pet. And men make the same mistake when they trade their natural edge for comfort. You weren't built to be agreeable all the time. You weren't born to swallow every opinion just to avoid confrontation. You were designed to fight for what matters, to draw lines, to say, this is mine, and I won't apologize for it. The man who loses that edge, even in small doses, loses everything. You've done it, I've done it, everyone has. But the question isn't whether you've made the mistake. It's whether you're willing to stop lying to yourself about it. Because every time you let yourself off the hook with, it's not a big deal, you're chiseling away at the foundation of your masculine presence. And when it finally collapses, it won't be over something small. It'll be the moment you realize nobody listens to you anymore. The world doesn't punish weakness with violence. It punishes it with indifference.